That's how you get on a first-name basis with dirt. And this guy's a heck of an athlete. Now that is a serious athlete.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to John Madden Football.
Hey, it's Cobra here at MaddenGuides.com, and for this Madden NFL 23 defensive plays a video breakdown, going to take a look at Nano Blitz pressure from different gaps. And the defense that we're going to use for this video breakdown happens to be out of the Nickell 3-3, and the name of the defense is called Nickell Blitz 3. And I want to show you how to get some inside pressure, and then I also want to show you how to get some outside pressure from it as well. And this is definitely a defense that you're going to want to try out. I think it's going to be something that's going to allow you to get that inside pressure, because a lot of times now, as you know, with Madden NFL 23, a lot of players aren't rolling their quarterbacks out as much or staying in the pocket, and then they might take off a little bit later in the play. But at least initially, if you can get that A-gap pressure coming up the gap, then they're going to have some issues. And this is what this defense is going to be about. Before we get into the video breakdown, let's take a look at the play diagram and some play info. So the name of the play again is called Nickell 3-3, Nickell Blitz 3. You'll find this one out of the nickel formation. Again, it's out of the 3-3 set. The personnel is 3 defensive linemen. The linebackers are 3. You got 5 defensive backs. The coverage type is zone. The coverage shell is cover 3. The blitz type is a zone blitz. The gap pressure, we're going to call it by default B and C gap. The pressure, as far as the pass rushers, are 5, and then the pass defenders are 6. As far as the playbooks are concerned, here are the playbooks that you'll find this one out of. And for this video breakdown, we're going to go ahead and use the 3-4 playbook, which is the playbook that I've been using so far. Much like I did last season, I've been using a lot of the 3-4 playbook, so just keep that in mind. All right, let's go ahead and get ready to get into the video breakdown. I do want to show a couple substitutions, so we'll go ahead and talk about that, or at least one substitution I want to talk about, and we'll go ahead and talk about that here in just a split second. Before I get into show you the blitz setup, one other thing I want to show is the one substitution that I'm going to go ahead and make for this particular play. And what I want to do is go into the depth chart just real quick. So I want to show you, I've actually already made the substitution, but I want to go ahead and go into the depth chart and try to explain this to you guys a little bit. So I'm not going to globally make the substitution. What I am going to do is just do it within the formation itself. But you'll notice that this gentleman right here at the nose tackle position for the Cowboys, he is a 78 speed by default, which is nice for nose tackle. That's actually pretty fast for a nose tackle. But I prefer to get as fast a defender that I can get in there that's not a X factor or a superstar. I'd rather leave my left end or my right end. If they're X factors, I'd rather just leave them there. That way they can get to the quarterback themselves. But what I'm looking for is somebody on this depth chart, maybe way down at the bottom, that's fast, that I can apply in there to allow me to get some pressures. Now, if you guys remember last year, a lot of times I was using with the Cowboys, I was using this guy right here, 𝗍𝗆𝗆, to go ahead and get pressure on the quarterback. And, you know, rightfully so. He's an 81 speed. He's faster than what the starter is as far as at the nose tackle position. But this year, the Cowboys actually have a rookie that's actually even faster. And I'm not going to tell you guys to put him in every single play. Maybe in this particular formation, when you run this defense, maybe you want to run this defense, maybe it's 3rd and 15, or maybe it's 3rd and 10, you need a sack, or you want to put some pressure, some inside pressure on the quarterback quickly. So what I'm going to suggest is look for this guy right here if you're using the Cowboys or any other team that's got a fast defender that's sitting somewhere on the bench, a defensive lineman, if you will, and put him in and sub him in. This guy's got an 89 speed. So with an 89 speed, I feel pretty confident that I can get to the quarterback pretty quick. So that's definitely an option that you might want to consider doing when you run this particular defense I'm about to show. Now that I showed the one substitution that I like to make, let's go ahead and get right on into the play call screen here. And I want to go ahead and show you the play again here as you look at it. It's this Nickell Blitz 3. The one thing you want to do before we get on the field is to go ahead and flip the play at the play call screen. If you have auto flip turned on, you will not see this where you can flip the play at. So what you want to do is you want to turn it off. Now, once you get on the field, if you don't have it off, you could flip it there on the field if you so choose. I'm going to go ahead and do it at the play call screen. So I'm going to go ahead and flip it as you look at your screen right there, and I'll go ahead and call the play. And then on the offensive side of things, let's run this against this particular play out of the gun trips offset out of the Eagles playbook that's called vertical. So if you're following along, I suggest doing that. All right, what I'm going to do here is get right on into the breakdown, and then I'll go into instant replay and show you why I did the things I did with the setup as far as getting pressure on the quarterback. So the only other thing I want, before I do that, I did want to point this out to you, is that this guy right here is your cornerback right here. If you call base align, it's going to move him to the outside, and you might want to do that with this particular, against this particular formation. I think a lot of you guys use base align, so this probably wouldn't even apply because you probably already have it turned on. But if you don't, make sure you go ahead and hit base align. All right, as far as the rest of the setup is concerned, it's real simple. We're going to go ahead and call QB contain, spread the defensive line out. We're going to take control of the nose tackle and put him in QB spy. And there's your setup right there. I am going to go ahead and call press coverage. Now, again, I probably wouldn't call press coverage unless it was inside the 15-yard line when I'm doing zone defenses. But this is something you might consider doing unless you want to try to bluff your opponent, make it think it's man and, you know, man press or whatever. But the reason I'm doing it for this particular video breakdown, the setup I'm showing here is I want to bring this nickel back a little closer to the line of scrimmage. And that's the reason behind it. All right, let's go ahead and get into it and run the play. And then I'll go in instant replay and I'll explain to you why I did the things I did with this setup. So let's go ahead and snap it, and make sure you stay in control of the nose tackle when doing this, because this is the only way this is going to work. So we'll go ahead and snap it, and then we're going to rush the quarterback and get inside pressure, A-gap pressure there. And that's it as far as with the setup. It's pretty consistent as far as bringing that pressure on the quarterback, as far as up through that A-gap. Let's go ahead and go in instant replay so I can kind of walk you through my mindset and between this, the whole idea of this whole blitz setup that I'm doing. All right. So the one thing I want to point out here is you got these three offensive linemen. Now, we have three defenders that are all rushing the quarterback from the right side of the screen. So you've got this guy right here. He's rushing the quarterback. This is going to be the left end. And then you got these two defenders right here. This is going to be the left outside linebacker. And then you're also going to get this nickel back who's rushing the quarterback. So the offensive line has to account for those three pass rushers. Now, because we put the nose tackle into QB spy, the center does not see the nose tackle as a threat. So what he's going to look to do is he's going to look to block towards this direction here. As you look at your screen, he's going to go ahead and look to block towards the right. One of these guys right here, probably going to be the left end, or more likely that's who he's going to look to block. And you're also going to get these three guys, or these two guys, these two other offensive linemen looking to block over in that direction. As far as to the left side, we already know, this is already a guarantee that the left tackle is going to go ahead and look to block the right end. So he's going to look to block the right end. The left guard, because he doesn't see the nose tackle as a threat, much like the center, he's eventually going to look to block and help block the right end right there as you look at your screen. And that's what's going to open up this big gap, kind of like the Red Sea and Moses and the Ten Commandments, where there's a big gap for him to go through. Well, that's what happens here. So as you look at it, as I run this, I'm going to go ahead and zoom in now. So you can see, if we just kind of rewind it just a little bit, let's take a look at a couple things that are going on here, at least initially. These two guys right here, and when I talk about these two, it's these two offensive linemen. Here's the left guard, here's the center. Initially, they do look to block the nose tackle. But if I wait and I don't rush, I'm not hitting the speed burst button on the right trigger. I'm not hitting that. I'm not holding that down. I'm not holding down the right trigger or the R2 button before the snap. I'm not doing that. Right now, I'm just letting him do his thing, and I want him to drop. See how he stands up? Right there. Now, your first thing you're going to notice as you're looking at this, you're going to see that this guy, this center, is now blocking towards this direction. He's looking to help out over here with those three pass rushers. The left guard is still, he's still looking. He's still thinking about it. But eventually, he looks away. A lot of times, he doesn't actually look away, but a lot of times he does. But he does slide over to the left enough to make that big gap where I can get the pressure on the quarterback. And when I see that, and I see this huge gap right here, when I see this big gap going in between here, man, it's like it's releasing the dogs after the quarterback. And that's what I'm doing here. I'm going after the quarterback now. I'm manly rushing him, and I'm going after him. And you can see right there, I clearly get some nice pressure on the quarterback. If we were to go ahead and do something like this, I'm going to go ahead and show this to you. I'm going to bring up the old timer here. I'm going to show you guys something here as you guys are looking at your screen here. Let's clear this off here and rewind this. Let's take a look and see how fast. I probably shouldn't have called this a Nano Blitz. What I probably should have done was, said something along the lines, just a quick A-gap type pressure. But at any rate, let's go ahead and hit the timer here. Let's see how fast we get to that quarterback. So we got to him probably just under 3 seconds. I think I was a little bit late on the thing right there. Let's go ahead and reset it again. Same thing. And let's just go ahead and run it again. So right there, just under 3 seconds. So we're able to get to her pretty quick. So I wouldn't call it a Nano Blitz. When I think of a Nano Blitz, I think of a, like a second. But at any rate, that's it on that. I wanted to show that to you because that's something else that you guys can do that's going to allow you to go ahead and put some pressure on the quarterback pretty quick and pretty consistently as far as bringing that pressure on the quarterback. So I just wanted to point that out to you, that it's pretty quick pressure on the quarterback. All right, so let's get back into the breakdown here as far as with the rest of it, and just see what happens here with the rest of this breakdown. And as you look at it, I'm going to go ahead and go through the setup one more time, and I'm going to show you just again how quick it is. So we're going to go ahead and call base align, spread the defensive line, call QB contain, put this guy into QB spy. There's your setup right there. And then if you want to call press, you can. So there it is. That's how quick this is. And you notice we did not have to move one defender with this to get pressure on the quarterback. Let's go ahead and do the same thing. Wait, and then come after the quarterback. And if you wait long enough, you should get that. Hopefully he doesn't trip or fall down like he did there. But we still got other pressure as well. There's a linebacker blitzing through right there. That happened to be the left linebacker, left outside linebacker getting pressure on the quarterback as well. So there it is again, the setup. Let's go ahead and snap it, and then we'll just do the same thing again. So we still got that pressure on the quarterback. Looks like they're getting a little bit smarter there, but we're still going to get in there. Didn't get them that time, but we almost got blocked. On occasion, that might happen. You may not always get it every single time, but for the most part, you're definitely going to get some pressure on the quarterback with the setup that I'm showing here, and it's going to be pretty consistent. So just make sure you got a fast defender, at the nose tackle position. Let's run it one more time. Oh, that time I forgot to put him in QB spy, but I still got outside pressure. So that's the other thing right there. You may still get that outside pressure as well. Okay, let's do it one more time. I'll do the actual setup correctly this time. Base align. QB contain, spread the defensive line out, QB spy. There's your setup right there. And then we'll go ahead and do this. And then we'll go ahead and snap it. And same thing here. And we get that same pressure coming up the quarterback. Even though I got blocked, I still got the game. I still got the pressure right there. So there you guys go with that setup. It's definitely one that you can get the pressure on. It may not be as consistent as some of the other defenses out there that you might get some, especially if you're getting from the outside pressure, but it's certainly a defense worth taking a look at, and it can definitely bring some pressure. Let's see what we get this time. There we go. We're going to get that inside pressure. This time we got a couple guys in. So, this is definitely a defense worth taking a look at because you can definitely get that inside pressure. And as I said before, if your opponent, because you got the QB contain already, so darn well, if he tries to roll out, if he tries to roll out with his quarterback, you already got QB contain on those defensive ends. So you're going to have this right here. You're going to have this right here. You're going to have this. You got that. So the other cool thing about this is that if he tries to step up at this point, if he tries to step up into the pocket with his quarterback, if he tries to do something like that where he tries to take off or tries to run up the gut, he's just going to run right into you. He's going to run right into this defender right here, which is nice. So you can't even do that. So that takes that away. So there's a lot of nice things about this defense that's going to help out as far as what that goes, as far as getting pressure on the quarterback. Now, what I want to do here is I want to go ahead and show you guys one other thing with this, and that's going to be with the Xbox One and the PS4 version of it. So I'm going to go ahead and show that to you guys for those of you guys who use the Xbox or the PS4 version. All right, for you guys that are wondering, does this Blitz work for the Xbox One or for the PS4? Well, it does, but not the same way. So let's go ahead and just run it here. This is without, let's kind of doing the same thing that I did earlier with the setup. It doesn't really work very well. Matter of fact, you're not going to get the pressure there, but you can do something else a little different that's going to get you the pressure. And I'm going to show it to you here, right here, as you look at your screen. So what you're going to do as you watch here is do pretty much the same setup. But the one thing you're going to notice that I just did there as you watch is I went ahead and slid the nose tackle over to the right as you look at it. Let's go ahead and zoom in here. You're going to notice that I went ahead and slid him over one notch to the right as you look at it. He's right there now. And rather than putting him in QB spy, I put him in the Bluff Blitz. Now I want you guys to watch the rest of this and you'll see. The other thing I didn't do is I didn't spread the defensive line out. So if you're following along on the Xbox One or PS4, try to do this setup and you'll see if you can get that pressure. See how he gets in pretty nicely right there? If we rewind this again, let's rewind it one more time. A little bit right there as you look at it. See how he gets in? Even though this guy right here, even though this gentleman right here, this left guard kind of looks to block him, we still get in and apply the pressure on the quarterback. So try that setup, guys, if you guys are playing on the Xbox One or PS4, and see what kind of pressure that you might get as far as bringing pressure on a quarterback with this particular defense. So At any rate, hopefully, guys, this is something that will help you guys out as far as bringing some inside pressure on the quarterback. Again, this one is called the Nickell 3-3 Nickell Blitz 3, and we're looking to get A-gap pressure from the nose tackle.